Hey, Black Wolf, what's up? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, buddy. I've been working on these commissions. I guess I should lower it. All day. And it's been driving me crazy. It's such an important thing for me. So I think I got to one. Let's just move this over on my way so I can actually sit and draw. Yeah. Kind of in my way here. There we go. Oh, if I bring this, look at this. There you go. Okay, let's see, Black Wolf. Can you see me? I like it. Looking good. Well, this is one I've went on. I did this one. I started working on this one. And my wife said it was too close up. Now, this started as a rough like this. And then I started cleaning it up and I started working on that. And then I got for lunchtime. I said, I like this. What do you think? And she said it was, zoom it up a little higher. Hello, everybody out there. Thanks for joining me. If you guys wouldn't mind liking, that would be great. Just had a great conversation with Niall the Brain Scala, my pal and partner for crowdfunding comics. And we've got some awesome guests coming up this week and next and in the future. And we just learned that the great Alan Bellman will be joining us. So I started with that. I wanted an angle. And to let you know what I've been drawing from, I've been drawing from this. And this was a big crucifix I bought in Mexico City about over 20 years ago. And the arm broke. It's resin. It was on this beautiful cross, wooden cross, which is I think it's in the garage now, the cross, because I got it repaired. I have his arm in a box. I just have to glue it. But I don't know if I totally ruined it. But so I've been using this and playing with angles and things like that. If you see this, if you see the two of them together, let's zoom out a little bit. So I've been working on these two guys. My lights are pushing it out. Let's get rid of the light a little bit. So I've been working on that. So I did that. And then I did this angle. Something like this. Man, that light's real harsh. You know, again, he's on, of course, a different angle. And then I moved that and I changed it to this, which I thought was real powerful. And, a lot of times you see Jesus like that little statue, and he's real skinny, very emaciated. And, but you got to think, Jesus was a carpenter. And, this is the guy that went into the temple and fashioned a whip and sort of beating the hell out of all the merchants selling stuff in his father's house, as he would say, in the temple, when he came back, and to turn over tables and all this stuff. So he's got to be, he's strong, man, a real strong, solid man is what I would imagine if he is this, he's worked with his hands his whole life in his 32 years or so. So that's why I like him more bulky and more, more beefy and just more like a regular guy. But those drawings look like so many of if you Google the Crucifixion, you'll just see so many different, it's all the same kind of poses. It's hard to do. This is probably the most illustrated, sculpted, pose of all time, if you think about it. So I wanted to do something different. And I said, well, why don't I try I love the Dali one, the Salvador Dali one, which is looking from above. But I had, what about this one? And there he is he's on the cross. And let me move it so it's more straight because I'm not drawing right now. And you see him and he's on the cruise. He's on the cross here. And again, this is how my rough start. And I was using this to help me. this to check out the angles and stuff like that, and the way that the body is, and just bulked him up a little bit and made him stronger. But I like the idea of him looking up, talking, the God, why have thou forsaken me? And it's not a pretty thing. It's going to be a brutal. It's a very sad. This poor man. Which was crucified, and maybe Ellie didn't put the two others that were with him, the beggar and the thief that were there, or whatever, the thieves, and the one that asked his forgiveness, and if he can go join, Jesus in heaven, if he would, take him to heaven, and the other one that doubted him, and he takes the one. But if I can have them at Calvary, and maybe the one a little bit farther back or something, and have them. But I'm speaking in Boston this weekend at a church, actually, at a Catholic church, and I'll talk about the comic, The Child Is Born comic, and kids will be there. I love doing that, talking to kids and stuff. And another thing is the controversy of where was Jesus crucified? Now, was he crucified through the hands? Because with the biblical translation, it is a lot of the people say through the hands, but there was no ancient Greek word for wrist, so it could be through the wrist, which they say would support it better. But then they're talking about you hit someone through the wrist with a nail, and it's a giant nail. I mean, you look at the nail comparison, is probably the way he is right here. That's probably the size of the nail that went through him. That goes through his wrist. That can just cut his vein, cut his vein, and he could just bleed out even before he's supposed to suffer. So he really wouldn't get a chance to suffer. That's why I think they went through the hand, because there are real strong tendons here and stuff in the bones of the hand that could, if you do put it there, you could technically hold the weight. And then they also said there was a block down at his feet. The block would hold up his feet, which would just help with the with his weight, because you want them to suffer. Their chest collapses, they suffocate to death. But it is a really horrible death for those of you who know, or well, hopefully none of us know. But if you see the film, if you see the films, or you see Spartacus even and stuff, and it's a torturous death. I mean, they'll last for hours, maybe overnight, 24 hours or so, and literally, from thirst, they'll die of thirst and asphyxiation. So, but I think if they did do it through the hands, and again, I think the part was that if you went through the wrist, they could probably rip through that vein, and they bleed out. You would just totally bleed out. That's why people, commit suicide there and stuff like that. So what I was thinking of is if they did do that, and you see like Passion of the Christ and stuff, they'll have the ropes there, which makes sense to have rope, So that's it. This is a little off, but I want them twisting a little bit. I wanted a lot of them have the Lord, have Jesus' head, the Lord's head tilted like that thing. I like him looking straight up, and of course I'll get real detailed with the face and all when I get to it. But if you look. And using my tripod, because it's easy to use a tripod for back here. All part of the Blevins Media Center mobile unit. And this is cool. I'm just moving this bad boy around. So trying to work on things. Hey, guys. John 27 said, then he said to Thomas, put your finger here and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it at my side. Do not disbelieve, but believe. Oh, thank you with the doubting Thomas thing, Matthew. I think that went through the hand, there was a 4-inch diameter head to keep the stake from pulling through the palm. Okay. So, yeah, so that's basically where I'm going with it. Kind of ran out of room, but I'm doing it on my Crusade comics paper. This is actually a rough. This is actually Xerox paper. So I do all my roughs on the Xerox paper. And if you guys watch this, but, I'm in the, it's for Christmas, but he's going to be really bloodied. His elbows, of course, his knees will be really bloodied. Let me zoom up a little bit. And tomorrow, I guess I'll draw it. I'll start drawing it in the morning. And what I'll do is I'll do a time lapse so you can see it. And I think I'm going to ink this. I think, though I like his face, how scratchy I made it. But I'm trying to do something a little different. That's different than all the typical. Again, you Google it, and there's just so many. It's probably one of the most reproduced, images in the history of art. One of the most reproduced events. Also with the paper here, with the INRI. I think that would be on papyrus. I don't think it would be on wood. Some people say it would be on wood because just like the manger was a cave at his birth, it wasn't in a wooden manger because wood was so scarce there. I mean, they literally had just olive trees, and if anyone knows an olive tree, it's not real big. But this was made from an olive tree. The crucifix is made. The cross itself was made from an olive tree. So we'll do this. His belly button's probably up there, not down there. We'll fix that and get rid of that in case I don't catch it tomorrow when I'm doing it. But that's it. Let me see what kind of questions you guys got. All right, let's see. Hey, Adam, good to see you, pal. Adam post, the standard was, what, Josephus, what was the standard? Black Wolf, even on Catholic school we went where tight, it was through the wrist. Oh, so some people say it was through the wrist. I like it through the, I like it through the hand. I think, again, I just can't get over that idea of putting something through a wrist and not ripping apart that vein and having the guy bleed to death with it before you even can get him up there, before the cross falls, but before it's even stuck into the ground. But who knows? But it's still painful, and it is just brutal. So I think I'm going to go with this of him looking up, straight up. Again, I agonize over these things. I really do all the time. Let me play with that, and I can play with that angle a little more. But I like it. I kind of like this. Let's see. What was that? You guys got some great comments. Thank you all. Hey, you guys don't mind liking this for me? I know I asked you to like stuff for when we have our guests on. We had a great show with Chuck Dixon. What was that? Friday night, Niall? I think it was Friday night or Thursday night. Friday night. Yeah, we had a great show with Chuck Dixon, and then Graham Nolan was on and Bo Smith, and that was really cool. Matt V, I love She, but when we met at last New York City, I told you that a child is born is most important that you've ever done. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Child is Born is one of the only book, really. I did have that effect with Sergeant Rock by Army guys, World War II veterans thanking me for that. But for the most part, I've never gotten thank you for doing a book until a child is born, and people actually come up to me and thank me for it. It's really wonderful. It's and again, no, thank you guys, because you guys allowed me to do a book like that, and I really appreciate it. So if I do this, I mean, his eyes would be black. He'd have blood with those thorns sticking in his face right above his eyes and everything like that. They shoved that crown of thorns on his head. I saw the Passion of the Christ only once, and I'm glad I saw it. But I don't ever have to see it ever again. Oh, this is not on. Let me make sure this is not good. Unlike Manchester by the Sea, which I saw once, and I wish I never saw it. That movie was garbage. So, yeah, there you go. So that's it. That's good. I think I'm going to go with this. I wonder if I can do some kind of light through here or something, streaking down. Let's see if you guys see that? I like his face. And this is the last one I did. Again, I was working on this, and I came up with this one first. Let's see if I can play with my light. I got to use my other light because this washes it out. But I'm real struggling over this. So I did this one first. And, and again, I like the angle of you looking up as if you were looking up at him. And this is just a pencil. Again, I'll do it rough like this. I don't even know where the rough is. It's under this pile of stuff somewhere. Somewhere here. I don't know. The rough is somewhere. But I was taking photos outside. Let's show you what I do. So this is outside my studio. Something's wrong with my printer. So I was taking them up on the outside the balcony, taking photos, different angles, and I just kept drawing them. I just kept drawing and drawing, but like really going with a deep rough, and then getting frustrated. And then finally I said, you know what? Let me just have some dinner, say a prayer, and say, help me do this. So I did that. Then I went with this one with him kind of, with him looking up now. And that's where I started getting the idea of him looking up. But it's kind of wonky. I don't think it's really strong. Again, this isn't referenced or anything like that, referenced yet. And I will look at, then I did this one. I started liking that one, but I don't know, something's wrong with it. It's pretty powerful, And same thing with this one. I started liking his feet really bent. If you could see that, like how that nail would just really start to curl those tendons and stuff in his foot. Now these are roughs. Maybe you guys can't make out it at all, but I can. It's what I see. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Again, Debbie liked this one, but she said she wanted to see more of it. And if you could see here, I started to draw the nails in his hand. And I didn't know if I wanted to draw that because it was just so brutal, but it is a big, now his arms are too short anyway. So I made this smaller, this image. I made this image smaller, reduced it on a copy machine to here and here. And then I was going to light box it. I started doing it. Something bad. It just wasn't working. But let me ask you guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys like this one, this pose, or this pose? Now, of course, this one I'll extend him more. This is a different angle. As you can see, it's a lower angle and stuff. But I'm liking that. I think I got to make his legs a little. It's kind of like iconography with how extended it is, how elongated it is and stuff. And I like how it's different and how it feeds the whole paper. And maybe what I can do is I can go in with black here. You know what I mean? And maybe just like, like it's maybe lightning or something I could throw back here. Gotta do that block that his foot's on, resting on. I just had that and curl his toes and all that. And that's basically how it happens. So I think this one works. I like that. Which one do you like, Niall? Niall is on Crowdfunding Comics. Which one do you like, Niall? All look good for different reasons. Oh, thank you, Matt. It's tough, especially when you do something like this. And as Debbie said, well, that's why he wanted you to do this commission, because it is important to you. But holy cow, is it important? Let's see if I can turn this off. Does that work? I have my really nice light, the Blevins Media Center light, which I guess I should really get and start, being lazy and being a bit of a boom. Okay, that might work. Let me move my lights up. There you go. So these are my lights. This is my thing. And especially when something's so important to you, you really do spend a lot of time. And getting back to it, that I know people, comics, you have to get your books out. You've got to get your commissions out. And I owe about 10 commissions. And that's including the ones from the Kickstarter that were added. Because I am doing at least one a week, and they're coming out really nice. You guys saw Miss Fury the other night. I did her. This is this week's commission. Next, we got to do some commissions for Anthony, my friend Anthony. I have 6 of them I owe him. I owe Steph Raptis's commission. I owe, of course, E-Marie. I'll bring E-Marie's to Heroes. Ernest, I owe Ernest a lot. Brian Blevins, I owe one. Bill, I owe. Oh, boy, lots of them. So I got to get them done. But that's actually nice. I wonder if I should make this a little bigger. Make it lats a little bit bigger. Yeah, I like this. I'm really liking this. So that's that. It looks fine what I'm doing, Mr. L. Gargoyle. All right, thank you. So, guys, you now, I know I had this a little bit more wider. Again, I wanted him turning, like his body was turning a little bit. If you see how his chest is here, and I got to fix the belly button because his leg is like that anyway, so he would be turning a bit more. Add some nice dramatic shadows. And this is my working process. Yeah, that hand's pretty good. So doing that thing. Yeah, that's what it was. This one I started doing seemed a little too cartoony for me. The other one. This one, which I like though. I might even ink this one. But it seems a little comic booky, which is nothing wrong with it. But I like his face. But then again, if he was dead, he would have slunk down way more. He would have been pushed out like that, with his head like that. If you guys can see it, his head would have been down like that, and his arms up, because he would have just slunk down onto his chest. And I like it more like he's still with us, still alive. And I think it's pretty powerful, the whole vision. Well, move over and see and answer some questions or some comments you guys have. I'll throw that out there. This is me talking out loud. That's what I'm doing, this whole thing, because I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do here. So if we do this straight with the, again, the angle's not quite right, but if you see it, it's right. It's let me zoom down. I got the camera on it. Add a little bit of ethereal light. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it look like, ah. But there he is. That's my. The Crucifixion. Humming Ben. Yeah, I do. Yeah, custom Elvis. That's what I do too. I hum Ben-Hur. I hum King of Kings. Jesus of Nazareth. All those great, Sword and Sandals, and those 1960s epics. Put the light all the way up. And there we go. Paper's kind of slick, actually, too. When I got them made, I was just looking for regular Xerox paper, but printer, my buddy actually gave me better paper than what I asked for. But I don't know if I should have had better paper. I think I should have had the, regular cheap paper, because, it's real toothy, and you could do really cool roughs and stuff like that. Peace, my brother. Okay, guys, listen. I'm on. We've been talking for a few minutes now. If you guys don't mind liking this, please. I see that we have 16 likes, 18 watching. Thank you all. Also, my wife informed me that we're almost at $2,000 up on our Kickstarter that ended last Saturday morning at 3 a.m. And we've raised almost another $2,000 since then. So we're shy of our $35,000 goal. So I think I'm going to go on and start talking this thing up, because why not try to get that stretch goal and everybody can get that cool sticker and stuff. I think it's a sticker that she has. Is it the sticker? You know what? I don't know. I'd be lying if I acted like I did, because I don't. Was it the bookmark? It was something cool. There we go. And who else we have? We have some good guests coming up on Crowdfunding Comics next week. I don't know if we've announced it yet. I'll leave that to Niall the Brain Scala, who's there, if he wants to make the announcement. I don't want to be that guy and jump the gun with the brain. Well, yeah, put some cool ropes. Now, these ropes, of course, will all be same thing with his cloth. His little loin cloth thing that he had here. We'll just have that real rough, because it's all like muslin, and just it's got to have all the things in it. This is definitely the one. Okay, thank you. Bill, that face is just awesome. The high contrast and low rendering is just great. Thank you, Caesar. That's what I was looking for. And I like his face a lot. If I can zoom in on it, let me see this bad boy up. Hold on. Jesus. I love looking at comic art. I love looking at comic roughs. I love watching my friends draw. So again, we'll move this. We'll focus. It's our high res camera. Maybe it's too tight. Maybe it's too close. I think it's a little too close. We'll have to zoom it up a wee bit. There you go. that tight. So that'll be that. Again, I know you can see it, he is nice and pretty loose, but a little bit kind of tight. Let's zoom up a little bit more. Give it a second to catch up. So that's good. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with this. And while we do it now, this is what I do. I'll start really digging in. A lot of times I really tear this paper. But I like him having the fist. That it hurts so much. But his fingers are constricting and all. This hand's really bad. Fists are the easiest thing to draw too. What's the matter with me? It's like when you would get a job of someone punching someone, or somebody wants a commission of someone punching someone, you're like, yes, because fists are so easy. It's so much harder to do a hand that's something poetic but he's gonna be really messed up. I'll have blood coming down from here. Again, all the blood here. And again, I want them thorns like right near his eyes, even maybe covering over his eyes, because you got to think, imagine getting shoved, a crown of thorns shoved on your head. And he's got to look Mediterranean enough. You don't want him to look like, Eric Powell from Jesus Nazareth, which is a great movie. If anybody saw, I posted that. I was watching that. His chest muscles would be higher like that because of how his arms are. But yeah, he's real British looking, But and with his light blue eyes and stuff, and I doubt that an Israeli would have that Judean son of disciple. Of David, a descendant of David. Okay, because they speared him to make sure he was dead, indeed dead. What was that? What'd you ask, Matt V? They do spare him. This is before they speared him. I want him alive here. I had the other ones where where I was drawing ones where he was dead, and of course you put the heart because the Romans speared him through his heart to make sure he was dead. And just imagine like his mother's watching and stuff, and everyone came out, and like I said, incredibly sad scene, but worked out, didn't it? So we'll have the thieves like here, the two men that were with him, that they were hung up to, and I'll put this guy back here. Maybe even him. Maybe this one I'll draw. This guy, the guy that asked Jesus to remember him in heaven. And forgive me, I'm looking at the camera while I'm drawing this. But if I have him, I'll put him, in. He'll be in light. You know what I mean? Because he ended up going to heaven. And so if I draw him. I'm drawing the. So maybe this is after he asked, Jesus to remember him. And then this one over here, this guy, the guy that doubted him. Yeah, that's other. This one that he doubted him. This will all be, man. You know what? I might not ink this. I might go with my Barrow Prismacolor so I can get real scratchy with it. But this thief, I think he was a thief. I don't think he was a murderer. I think he was a thief. He'll be all in darkness. You know what I mean? Because he doubted Jesus. He didn't believe that Jesus was the Son of God. So he doubted Jesus. So maybe I put him in dark. His cross is all in darkness. And this man is in light. That he did go on to to heaven. He did join Jesus in heaven. That's kind of cool, man. Is that this one or this one? What the heck? So I could do him again. These are. So if he's facing this way, is it a cliche if I make him facing this way? Make him facing this way too. Maybe something like that. I got this really cool light streaking through. If I zoom out, bring it up. You know, so I have something like that, 11 by 17. Kind of a little tilted, but it's okay. And I can have the two leaves with him at cavalry, and I could do some really cool light. Do you use 2B lead, Billy Tucci? Metaron's cube. This is 7. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta be honest with you. I do 2 H's first. Like when I first drew this, I drew it with my mechanical pencil, which is here. So I drew with this bad boy, Statamuller or whatever it is. I drew this. I have one really old, 2 of them that are really old somewhere. But this is a 2H. So I rough it out in the 2H, and then I'll go in with this, which is probably a B or an HB or a 2B. I think it's got to be a B. It's pretty dark, pretty soft. And then even down here on the, because of the blood from his foot. His other foot. So this one is in front. Got to fix that. That'll be fixed better. Because when they have it, his foot is like, his foot's not like that. It's actually like that because it's resting on the thing, but then they nail it in. Well, let me check my statue, which would make sense. Yeah, it's almost, yeah. So the feet are on a slant. So it's almost like the feet are definitely on a slant. Like that. So it would be, so it can get nailed on the slant because the slant is sort of like that. Okay, the man in the darkness must face away. The man in the darkness must face away. Excellent, Soyber Frog. Excellent. Now, the man over here, the one who asked Jesus to remember him when he's in heaven, should he have been expired, like he's content, or should he be looking away? So this, we have to give him in like this chap. This guy has got to be in silhouette. You guys can't really see that. Let's zoom in on him. Let's all draw this rough together. Lower it. So we draw him. Right? Let's fix this guy. I like that he's in darkness. He should be definitely in the darkness. But how do I draw him looking away? How about this? It's too high. think if I do something like this and almost like a bit of a nose, like you see how that's sticking out a little bit, it could give the impression, because I want him all in darkness. I love that idea that he's in darkness. We should all draw together. Scala, you should draw as well with us. So he could, we could work on him. But him, what is he doing? Is he content to have a great night? Good night, Niall. Good to see you, buddy. The good thief should be looking towards Jesus. Okay, so if I do that, here's the good thing. I'm just gonna, because I like this angle right now, what I drew. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's. I also wonder if you guys can see what I'm seeing, because I kind of know what I want to do. So even a few lines, I can get it and see what I'm trying to do. But if I do this, now of course his head will be moved over. He looks like he has two heads. But I could have him with his head cocked. Which will move the head that way. But it could be something like that. And I think that works. Head tilted to the left where you're looking away. All right, let's do that. You guys convinced me. Let's have him looking towards Jesus with hope on his face. I like that. So I zoom in a little more. Try to draw that because this camera's in my way. Tripod's in my way. Yeah, we'll make his cross even, because it wouldn't be exactly straight anyway. They just probably just slammed him in the ground. Oh God, imagine the pain you guys must have been through. So give him more. I'll give Jesus more in the light. Him in a fading light of sorts, and then him in total darkness. The doubting thief. Let's see. We zoom up. I love this. I like this. So I get the whole image in. You guys let me know what you think. And that'll be basically it. I think we can go with that one. Right? I think keep kicking this gosh darn thing. And that's what we'll go with. We'll move it up a little bit. And the camera's in letterbox, so yeah, I think we'll go with that. I like Jesus's face. I like the detail to it. Yeah, I like that. So that's what we'll do. This hand's got to get fixed. That hand's good. That one's not so good. But that'll be it with the thieves. I like the pose. It's purposeful. He's turning towards Jesus. Thank you, Soyber Frog. Looks great. Thank you, guys. So, well, all right, guys. Talk to you tomorrow, buddy. Talk to you too. The good thief should be looking towards Christ. The man in the light ought probably look at peace, maybe. I like that. I can always have it. I think I will put him at peace for sure. Enjoying along with you. Thank you, Caesar. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go. I hope everyone had a wonderful Easter. Happy Passover for the Greeks out there. If there's any Greeks, Christos Anesti. Your Easter is this weekend. So thank you all. Good night. And tally-ho. You guys are awesome. Thanks for spending time with me. If you guys could like it. If you haven't liked it already, please like it. Please share it. And I'll do a time lapse tomorrow. And I'll post it tomorrow afternoon. If I get this done by lunchtime tomorrow, I'll post it. And then I can finish the Zombie Sama script. Oh, the colors are all done for Zombie Sama. I got to finish the script. It's waiting on me. And should get that book to the printer not next week, but the week after next. And then we'll be waiting on the hardcovers because the hardcovers take about 8 to 10 weeks to come out, but you'll all get them. So Zombie Sama, thank you all for supporting Zombie Sama. Please support your local indie creators. Check out people on Indiegogo. Check out people on Kickstarter. Vampire PA by Jeff Vaughn, my pal. I have the cover is available. The original art for the cover. It's called Vampire PA Bite Out of Crime. I'm tired. I think I'm going to have a beer. Good night, guys. Happy Easter. Peace.